Hello and welcome back to the 11D1 YouTube channel. This week's replay review is featuring the 1085 FE4201 and or the better known as the Chieftain. And so today we are on a standard battle on Minsk. And I will be taking the Chieftain over to the 1-2 line to face off against some mediums. Why am I doing this? Well, typically, if there was no artillery on this map, I would be taking it over into the dip location where you see this 277 going. But for me personally, I don't think that it's going to be worth my time to try to commit there, possibly have some damage, but probably not, and then just get berated by artillery all game. So for me, that's not something that I realistically think would be an effective use of my time. So, that all being said, I'm taking the Chieftain over to the 1-2 line where the mediums usually play, and so that I can hopefully get an effective result here. Now, the question remains, is there actually going to be enough tanks, if any at all, over here? Because there are already at least 6 tanks spotted on their flank. Granted, most of which are heavy tanks, so you'd expect them to be there anyway. But they're pushing pretty aggressively, which would suggest to me that they are probably going to commit most of their team over on that flank. So with that knowledge in mind, I decided to start pushing up with my teammates here. The M46 KR Patton and the Skoda T49 and AMX. So we're driving. We've passed the corner. We don't see anyone. There's a 430 up in that position. I suddenly stopped trying to get a shot in. I noticed that they're pretty dang hull down as far as that goes, so I don't think that I'm really going to realistically be able to do anything about that at the moment. So I decided to go back and try to confront them one-on-one. What this tells me, though, is that they've completely given up this side of the map, which loses them a lot of map control. So I think, well, if I can just get rid of this 430 and take the position that they're in, I will be in a super good spot to do a lot of damage this game. And so I start to do that. I bounce off the cupola of the 430. However, I do find a shot on the T-54 lightweight in the field. I also spot an artillery piece, which is wonderful news. Take the shot at them and get an ammo rack to finish them off. Now, I bait the 430. I didn't actually expect the 430 to do what they just did, but I bait them, I guess, unknowingly, into driving forward and falling off their location of advantage. So that worked out quite well for me. I was able to do most of their HP and damage, and I now am able to take the position that they were in, which is very strong and very useful. Because at this point I can shoot at the tanks, as you can see, over in the city. That's another kill down the VK101P, and from this point forward it's just a matter of cleaning up the tanks that are stragglers out in the field. You can see we spot an SU-130 over to my left. I try to look for a shot on the T-54 lightweight, but they're actually behind the mound there, so I can't quite find one. So we put one into the SU-130 PM. And at this stage, their heavies have very thoroughly applied themselves into the city. I get my gun broken by a 430, apparently camping somewhere near their base, which is interesting considering they're a medium tank. But yeah, so realistically, I'm not really going to get much more free damage from this range, so I decide to apply myself to committing up closer. And what am I thinking now? Well, most of their HP is situated in the city and or back at their base because they know they've lost this flank. So what do they have to do? Well, they have to come back and defend their base, or they're going to lose by default by us capping them out. So now that we're moving up, you can see that a lot of fire is being exchanged, and that's because they have an ISU-152 that's repositioned there, and we will also soon see that there is a T-95 that has applied themselves back towards the base as well. I put a shot into the 430 that shot me earlier in the gun, and there's the T-95. So I have an opportunity here to put a couple shots into them for free, as I am able to use this ridgeline to my advantage and avoid shells from them. However, they are in such a position to where the T-95's lower plate is exposed to me, so I'm able to get some good free shots in here. Unfortunately, those 2 shots went into the track and then also missed the lower plate there, so not having the greatest of luck. I put another tracking shell in there. Unable to properly hit the lower plate at that angle. I get a double bounce there from both the 430 and the ISU, demonstrating the extreme balance of this tank. Both of those shells were premium rounds, by the way. I'm pretty sure the ISU is not using the Top Gun because they have 700 alpha and not 750, so it probably makes more sense as to why they bounced, but the 430's APCR does not have bad pen, as far as I'm aware. Bounced the T-95 there, but I also missed trying to shoot through the destructible fence that is blocking my shot on the lower plate. I bounced that one, which is really weird because that's at an angle that definitely shouldn't have bounced, but it's okay. I decided to advance here towards the building because, realistically speaking, this game is going to be over in quite a short period of time. So I want to get stuck in. I want to get as much close range shots in as I possibly can, because that's where the damage is going to be the easiest to get. So I put 1 round into the T-95, bringing them down to a 1 shot. I'm going to reload and finish them off here right now. And now the ISU is thinking, well, this is a very unfortunate situation. I am pretty dang screwed, and after that final shot, it seals the deal for them. So, only 2 opponents remaining, the S-Conch and the 430. What am I thinking? Well, the S-Conch looks like they're pretty determined to come back towards where I'm going to be, so I'm just going to set up for them, wait for them to come around the corner, ideally track them and get some assistance damage, but as we're about to see, they stop before they come around the corner. I decide to side scrape on them, so I'm not wasting random health for no reason. Even though it is the end of the game, it doesn't really matter. I get the tracking shot in there. Somehow they miss. I'm not really sure what exactly prevented them from doing that there, but no matter. That my shot got messed up there from the fence line, just getting in my way. Not much I can do about that. I also... Oh no, I do damage there into the turret ring of the S-Conch, which is a weak point, in fact, for those of you that might not know for whatever reason. Finish the S-Conch off. My engine does get damaged here, but I'm not really worried about that. That was my 8th kill. That's a Radley Walters medal. That's a fantastic result. And even though the damage total isn't as miraculous or impressive as it could have been, it definitely was a solid result. And this was actually taken from a marking session that I was doing in it, so I had a couple of games that were pretty much at this level. The 430 now damages my ammo rack, and but that pretty much seals the deal for them as the Lorraine 155 finishes them off. So pretty solid result indeed. Alrighty, so taking a quick look at the post-game stats, we can see that this result was a first-class mastery badge, accompanied by the Radley Walters medal for the 8 kills, the steel wall for the 4,070 damage blocked by our armor, the high caliber for 7,100 damage dealt, and the Top Gun that accompanies the Radley Walters. So this was a pretty dang good result. Nearly 1,400 base experience, which isn't the craziest amount ever, and it definitely will take quite a bit more than that to get an ace tanker on this tank, because it is a Clan Wars rewards tank, and so most of the time it'll be played by top tier players, and so for that reason it's difficult to get an ace tanker in this tank. Nevertheless, we did fire 27 shots, had 24 direct hits and 18 penetrations, so my accuracy that game could have been a little bit better, but all things considered, it wasn't too bad. And even with the premium account, we did lose 111,000 credits due to the full gold that I was spamming, which I am perfectly willing to admit, because it is a difficult tank to play, and I'd like to have all of my shots pan. So I'm willing to lose credits to make progress, in addition to premium consumables. All things aside, however, I definitely would take that to do 7,000 damage any day. In just over 8 minutes. So if you guys did enjoy, be sure to comment in the comments down below, leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and subscribe if you are not already a part of the 11v1 YouTube channel World of Tanks experience. And until next week, take care and bye.